Hey there team, and welcome to what is going to be a very long siege of Buhr Sagath. At 57,000 frames, that is quite a hefty boy of a battle. But I do enjoy those. I like going through them, and it's always quite fun to do a nice long battle sometimes. I maybe should have saved this one for a beer. Whoa! That was a fast deployment, but I guess we got some decisions to make here. Yeah, let's go through Beast Mode's army first while it's nice and organized, and then we'll go to normal speed. So anyway, good versus evil, I think. As long as this guy's who I think he is. Yes, good. Okay, yeah, good versus evil, and good is on the attack, which is always fun because it kind of puts people out of their comfort zone sometimes. Anyway, Beast Mode has got Cardolan here, and he's got the Dunedain captains without an armor upgrade. You are dead to me, Beast Mode. Well, that's fair. Hearthguard there. Roman Guardians, or Gatekeepers, not Guardians. Minheriath Men-at-Arms. I freaking love all the captains of the Cardolan units, are just awesome to me. Then the Minheriath Spears, Thieves of Tharbad, Dunedain Rangers, Wardens of Tirngorthad, Mercenary Guildsmen, and Minheriath Archers, with some civvies and camp followers following up. So we will move on to one-time speed, because I suspect there is a grace period. So during that grace period, I can go through everybody's army. Yes, I can. Let's do the attackers first, and then we'll just see how the defenders have deployed. So Katunka the Easterling, another sort of a well-known player to an extent, is a Dorwinion. So he's got 3 Elven marksmen, great for a siege atmosphere. Elven infantry behind them, quite solid, and Vinegard. Actually, sorry, yep, Vinegard and some Merquindi pikes too. Then Hammerguard, Glade Masters, and Merquindi bows. Not a massive army, but pretty good quality. Then Nova is playing as the Dwarves of Khazad. He's got his Legion Bodyguard, Warriors of Khazad, Guards of Khazad, Sons of the Fallen, 2 of them, Mithril Guard, and 3rd Legion Infantry with some 4th Legion Shield Guard as well. And, bringing up the side there, some more Warriors of Khazad. Look like they might have been forgotten about. We've got James Crichton? James Crichton 8. Okay, cool. Never seen that before, but fair. He's got Lothlorien today. He's got his Lorenan Axemen, some Woodland Protectors, more Woodland Protectors there, and Lorenan Warriors. March Wardens of the Wood with some more Lorenan Archers and Spears, and Kindred. That's where he's got his General today. Some Rangers. Yeah, just 1 unit of Rangers. They kind of, well, yeah, you can tell the difference, but they do look quite similar. Is that the armor? That is the armor upgrade for those March Wardens. Good. Lorenan Axemen, Lorenan Archers, and Axemen again. Coming on down there, we've got Bacon Soup playing as Imladris today. So he's got his Swords of Rivendell with an armor upgrade. Yes, I think that's a solid shout. Then Bruin and River Wards, Archers of Rivendell, more Archers of Rivendell. Godhillim with an armor upgrade, thank goodness. Elder Renway Spears, and more Swords of Rivendell with some Nuritino Warriors we saw hiding too. And Imladris Sentries zooming out up front, along with the Merquindi Stalkers. We are in a grace period. Yeah, okay, maybe we're not, but and everybody was just fast enough to get inside. But we will be watching out for any combat. The Merquindi Stalkers there, with their anti-cavalry bonus. That's quite a useful thing to have in Buhr Sagath. Now there is definitely another attacker. Is there not? Wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, 5. Yep, that was me zooming through them all. Cool. Nice mix. Elves and humans and dwarves. Yeah, we got everybody. Then Mac in the Wind is the first defender as Rhudaur. So he's going to have to keep himself safe from all of these elven arrows today. But his Dunman Hunters should be able to hold that back alongside the Rhudaur Marksmen. By hold that back, I mean soak up the ammunition. Witchrom and Slavers there, keeping these wild men in line. Rhudaur Swordsmen, Rhudaur Clansmen, and more Troll Hunters. Got some Black Wolves, once again, keep those guys out of arrow fire. They will do some good work for you though. Mac in the Wind has taken the responsibility for the catapult. He does know what he's doing with that, so that's fair. Frodrum Javelins there too. Zooming on up here, we have our Dunman Pikes and some Herenadine Rangers. They're probably going to nestle themselves up in this little crevice. That's where Rangers like to go on Buhr Sagath. And Rhudaur Axemen too, to crack into the Dwarven Plate. And Mail too. Barrow Whites coming over here by Ordo Malleus. Then some Blackwatch Legion. Witchron Blackguard. Angmar Halberds. a nice mix of... Oh, and then Kuzuko. Oh, sorry. Kuzuko's... I'll probably go for Vexa, to be honest, mate. Sorry. He's got Isengard today. So Isengard infantry, or Urukai infantry, that is. And then the armoured up pikemen. I think it's pretty solid. When you armour up those Witcher-on pikes, they're always going to hold out quite nicely. And definitely getting them alongside some Angmar halberds too for the AP is useful. More Urukai infantry, sorry. Stumbled there. Orc fellers. Gardens of Cardolan with that armour upgrade. And Sagath stalkers moving up. Nice and cheap, those boys. Witcher-on inquisitors and Coalfell maidens standing outside. So not really lancers, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Witcher-on blackguard there. Crossbows moving up. Guards of Orthanc. Pikes. Naz High. Double trolls today. Trolls of Gunbad and Trolls of Angmar. Oh, the champions of the White Hand are lurking around too. Berserkers there. Trolls of the White Hand. Pikes there. More pikes and Scourge Raiders. And we're seeing some Guardians of Cardolan alongside these pikes. Sorry, inside of those pikes. And I think that's that. Unless we've... Oh yeah, we do. Some Hammer Guard moving all the way back to the final holdout. Which I understand why he's doing this, but I usually like to, you know, keep them closer to the front line. Is that where he's got his general? No. Okay, interesting. So we'll have to see. We might have some Witchers on the field. Good, those Hereditary Rangers are moving up to where I thought they would. But yeah, so that is that. Gotta be careful moving through here. Okay, no, the boys are taking their time. Right, anyway, we'll go up to 2 times speed while we sort of talk for a minute. I'm interested to see how this cavalry force outside goes. What's intriguing to me is we don't really have any lancers for the defenders. The defenders have all gone for, of course, the Coalfell maidens and the melee cavalry of the Witcher-on inquisitors. Now, the Witcher-on inquisitors can deal an absolutely tremendous charging attack, but still, it's interesting because usually it's the defenders that will take a lancer unit. And the attackers will be relying on a melee unit to keep their units safe from said lancers. So it's kind of interesting that the defenders today have gone for the melee units, and like saying that too, the attackers have not really gotten any lancers themselves. So those Merquindi stalkers, as I say, they do have an anti-cavalry bonus in melee. They will also be able to shoot the poor Coalfell maidens, as I found out in that. What was it? Minas Tirith battle recently. I had my Coalfell maidens getting shot to pieces by those mounted elven archers, which was very unfortunate. Those Merquindi stalkers actually look like they're advancing, maybe to do just that. Those Coalfell maidens, of course, do have a little bit of a shield value, but it's not fun for anybody to be getting them shot at. So they're going to be coming forward now, but they are taking this fire. Mac in the Wind is going to unleash his javelins at the Merquindi stalkers. I'm sure it's not really the target Mac would want to be going for. He'll be wanting to probably throw those javelins right into something like the Wardens of Tir and Gorthad. They're those maidens wanting to bring some pain to their old Arnorian compatriots. But all the way back here, the Witcher-on inquisitors, they would be able to power through that sort of fire quite nicely with their heavy armor and their shields. Certainly a lot better than the Coalfell maidens. Coalfell maidens are coming screaming forward now, but amongst the Nuratino warriors, this is going to get messy. To be honest, with so many elves on the attack, yeah, I'd probably... Mac, I don't know. I'd probably get out of here myself. I just think that there's two... Oh, they did actually deal some damage to those poor stalkers. Let's go to 1 times speed. I think we're doing okay now. But yeah, I'd just get out of here because there's so many poison arrows. Coalfell maidens, of course, being Wildmen of Rhudaur, they've got some good morale, but just get out. You don't want to get them broken. So, nah, just using them as javelins later on. It's a shame, but the attackers have come forward very well here. And unless you came forward with a real concerted effort, a real organized effort of lancers, you could do a lot of damage to all these unsupported archers, but... and just the Coalfell maidens by themselves, that's not going to be enough. So he's done the right thing by pulling them out. Vineguard rushing up here, blocking off this entrance. How do we... that's a bit of a grouping. That's maybe too many folks coming through there at once. I don't really like that idea. What have we got up there? Catapult. It's not firing, but I don't know what the range of that catapult is. I'm used to having like trebs raining crap down on us here, but don't stop. Kachunka and oh, maybe they know they're out. Yeah, they know they're out of their range. That's fair. Okay, I'm still scared. What always scares me is he targets one of these forward units and then it just misses and goes way wide down here and slams through you. Anyway, Stalker's getting pretty cocky here. I don't know if yeah, because the thing is, you were seeing some movement over here. If you get too cocky with those Stalkers, those maidens can come on down here and start raining. Saying that. No, again, the archers would hammer into them. It's not worth it. I quite like Bacon Soup's army composition here. He's gone pretty heavy numbers for an Imladris army. A lot of these archers are Rivendell, and a lot of the swords of Rivendell. But as I say, every swords of Rivendell, apart from these guys, I was about to say every swords of Rivendell, he's given them an armor upgrade, and he's not done so for them. But still, it'll be cool to see how that plays out with this more numbers-heavy Imladris force. He does have the Gwathi Arthand, who, as I say, I don't know. Like I like the Gwathi Arthand. I just never take them. I always take the Gwathi Meridain instead. But to be honest, up against evil factions as we are today, maybe you don't need that heavy armor. Piercing value. Archers of Rivendell coming forward now. I say I'd love to get the Scourge Raiders or the Champions of the White... Not Scourge Raiders, or the Inquisitors or the Champions of the White Hand running out over here to chase these archers off and maybe kill them off. But what are they firing up at? Not getting some great shots, but Elven accuracy coming up and over right into the Dunman pikes. Fair. Yeah, like this is the dangerous thing about Rhudaur on the defense. Like I think Rhudaur can be an incredibly powerful defensive army because of all of their throwing weapons, but lacking that armor value means that you can just get very cost-effective damage on their lines done with even low-quality archers, which the archers of Rivendell are not really. Good javelin, axe fire into these poor swords of Rivendell. Those elves are just going to get minced by that, but the Trollshaw axe sword is going to be running away from that fight now, which is a good idea. Getting some shots into their backs, but as long as we keep about half of that unit alive, there's not really an issue with losing the first half. They should be able to get all of their ammunition spent in a siege defense. Oh, get some good catapult fire now. Yeah, as I say, the boys are coming through not too bad, but still, I'd maybe come through a little bit with a few less numbers than this. What they've sort of got going on is you have got 3 armies coming through here at once, which, as I've always sort of said, I like when just 2 of the armies come around the other way. It's actually quite interesting. Cardolan's come around this way. Beast Mode, even though he spawned on the far left, he's moved all the way around here to support Imladris in this push. But usually I would say 3 armies comes around here, just so that you've got less men grouping up in that valley. But I just don't like to get slammed at by artillery. Good archer fire continuing here. Yeah, you can see all these blood splatters here. That's the Barrow-wights doing their job and protecting the Wildmen, which is very nice of them. But still, a lot of those poor Dunman pikes are going to be taking a beating. And Rhudaur's not really got a great... You know, they've got the Dunman spears and they've got the Rhudaur clansmen that can be effective for this. We're seeing the... Oh, what is going on here? Ah, okay, there they are. Witchram Inquisitors getting deep in there. The Lorinan spears have chased them away. But, oh wow, they dealt some damage to those rangers there. Kieran Amroth Rangers. I don't think I said Siren earlier, I hope not. Good fire coming into the Inquisitors, but as I say, they'll be able to shrug off a lot of that damage, and this is a very well done, almost entirely enclosed domain, but still, those Inquisitors are going to be taking a bit of a beating. Oh, sneaky boy, well done. That was a good maneuver, Ordo, and but I think he's going to get trapped here. Oh, he's powered through well. Yeah, this cav has been used quite effectively, but this is surely it. He's not going to be able to thread the needle. Whoa. Whoa! Okay, more of them, quite a few of them are getting out. They're wavering, though. Holy smokes. Okay, yeah, the Inquisitors have shown their real worth there by managing to slip through that. But they will be injured. You can see all of them are very badly bloodied. Of course, not all of it will be their blood, but they will be in a bad way. And, no, not bad. Not bad, Ordo. But yeah, He's definitely dealt some good blows against the humans of Dorwinion and those rangers, which is very good. What are we at right now? 2 for 2, which is good for an attacking army. Basic early game when you're sort of ahead or even tied, it's fine. Menheriath archers, I think they are, even though I don't really use them, they're some of the best skirmishing archers I think you can have, because they've got that shield on their back, which I think is a 5, and then they've got a massive armor value too. They're as good as all of the other Menheriath soldiers, so it's they could just sit and tank this fire for a long time. Even these axes from Rhudaur will be a bit of a mess against them, just sort of bouncing off. But Bacon Soup is still using his Swords of Rivendell very well, just chasing off the Trollshaw axe throwers. I like the captain there. He's really cool actually. Just wearing a little bit of armor and got some sort of hair modifications. Charging on into the Barrow Wights though, this might be a bit of a loss of micro. Bacon Soup is probably looking elsewhere. Those poor Swords of Rivendell are probably going to be breaking in a moment, just in case I forget to take a picture. This looks alright. I do like Barrow Wights. But yeah, I'll try to get another one later on. Either way, that's them. Yeah, that's them broken. But they've been used quite well, and I'm sure Bacon Soup won't be too upset about that. But still, that was an unfortunate loss of micro there. Now, how are the attackers wanting to do this? Because as I say, when you're a good army on the attack, it's tricky because you usually will be outnumbered by the defenders. Now, in a 5v3 scenario, that's probably not going to be the case. But still, it won't be the same sort of numbers advantage as you would have had in just a normal mixed battle or an evil on the attack. So you can't really throw away units in the same way, but you can usually get a hell of a lot more for your units. These Warriors of Khazad coming forward is quite a nice little match here. Now the problem is they're just not going to be doing enough damage to get through the massive armor value, that sort of ghostly armor value of the Barrow Wights. But the pikes, they're stabbing away, are not really going to be able to get through their armor value. And of course the very low damage of the Barrow Wights might not do enough for them either. Good targeting there against the poor Coalfell Maidens, who are very badly bloodied right now, and they definitely have a lot of ammunition. Now the issue is that 2 of them remaining now are just banner carriers, so they're not going to be throwing their javelins. So they've only got 2 more javelin throwers remaining, so I think they're going to run away now and probably just be used at much safer times. Oh, Katunka, no, don't do this. Just save them, because definitely they could be useful against a Sally later on, or you know, we can see what happens. But anyway, decent clash there for both sides. Both doing alright. Beast Mode charging forward with his camp followers and his mercenaries first. As, yeah, okay, good. And these Barrowites are struggling there. There's no AP on the front line, but these really organised Imladris sentries are just going to be putting out a constant damage, a constant amount of damage. And I think that's going to do quite well. And the Dunman pikes are not really thrown into that yet. Actually, no, a few of them are fighting. But really it is mainly the Barrowites doing this damage right now. While these Dunman hunters just try to pour their low damage arrows onto the front line as much as they can. I'd be quite happy if I was Mac right now, because they are just firing their shots into my Dunman hunters. And I'd much rather they shoot my Dunman hunters than any of my infantry. But when you've got Cardolan on the attack, a lot of people really don't like Cardolan in sieges. I don't. But I don't like them because I can't really keep their morale together in the same way as I can in a pitch battle. And just because I can't, you know, I can't have my morale buffing units wherever I need them. But the amazing thing about Cardolan on the attack is they're very sort of dwarven. They're so heavily armoured, and just about everything has a shield value, and most of it is quite a good shield value too. So they're going to be coming forward like this, and just taking this on the chin. And of course these civilians here will die probably just to a single arrow, even from these Dunman hunters. Yeah, this guy just dropped. But, you know, there's so many heavily armoured units around them that it's very possible they won't take it. So right now they are just providing a bit of mass to the front line, and because there's so many friendly units around them, their low morale might hold. So I'm pretty fond of that. Saying that, we're 12,000 frames into a very long battle, and we have already, we've got some major clashes occurring, so I'm interested to see how this is going to play out. Uruk-hai archers there, what targets have we got? Elvelyn marksmen, they'll be able to shrug off a lot of this lower damage arrow fire. Oh wait. Yeah, that is what we're going into, right? Oh, we're going to the March Wardens. Yeah, good shout, good shout. Yeah, even with that armor upgrade, these poor Wood Elves are not going to be able to withstand too much. But they are shredding this poor unit of Rhudaur Marksmen from Mac. I like this a lot. Everybody's kind of mixed up entirely right now. The Battle Whites are supporting both sides. Ordo's not just got them on one side there. This is some good teamwork by the defenders. But this push it's very aggressive for such an early on part in the battle. But it's going quite well. And I'm just surprised that we don't have any... Maybe there are no Witchers on the defense. I know it's so early to use them, but I would be so tempted just to burn like a chunk, because we've got mercenaries on the front line and we've got civilians. And the rest are just forces of Cardolan, whose morale is of course a bit flaky at the best of times. So one good burn could be enough. Menheriath archers trying to get another shot in now. Yeah, still just shredding these poor Dunman hunters, but as I say, this is kind of what Mac wants, but at the same time the defenders want to, you know, just kill these guys off as well. And it is a bit of a trade right now. The Dunman hunters are targeting the Menheriath archers, and as I stated earlier, the Menheriath archers are going to shrug off that damage so easily. You know, the Cardolan men are kind of there just to take damage for their elven brothers right now, and they're going to do that very, very well, as long as their morale holds. The dwarves are continuing to just mince their way up forward now. They're kind of struggling up, especially up against the AP, the halberds there. That's going to be different. But they'll stand their ground for a while longer, and they are going to be doing a lot to the Barrow Whites. What we are now, 12 for 10. So the attackers are down, but as I say, that's not a bad thing in this stage. That's kind of what you would expect from them. Catapults already... It's looking for a target, but like, when it comes to Buhr Sagath, I often find like if you can take a, you know, something like the... Oh, they could have maybe taken the Isengard Ballista. I wonder why they didn't. But still, to be honest, I don't trust... Well, I don't like using artillery myself. Like, yeah, I'm not very good with it, and I just don't really enjoy using it. So it's very possible that the Isengard player here, Vixa, just didn't want to take it. We've got some elven pikes coming forward now by the Merquinde elves, and they will definitely replace a few of these fallen sentry... Yeah, damn, they're already down to 23, so they need it. Urukai archer fire coming on in. Now the issue with the Merquinde pikes, of course, is they're a lot less armoured. I think they only have 6 armour, so that's not great, especially in comparison to the Imladris sentries. Those civilians look like they're trying to escape from this fight, but it's such a big brawl. And saying that, all the way across the Cardolan forces there, we've got Shaken, and we need a morale buffing unit here, I would say. I think if I was to take Cardolan to an attack, now you can take 2 units of Dunedain captains. They're expensive, but you can take 2 of them before you hit the red limit. And I think I definitely would, because I think every one of these attacks, you would need to have a Dunedain captain unit thrown on in there to get that plus 10 morale buff. Because lacking that right now... Oh, crumbs, those civilians are still holding. Can you use fire arrows up there, my friend? I don't know, like, if I could get some fire arrows down onto these lines, I would. Because I think one good, hard shot of fire arrows against these civilians, they're gone. And I think the mercenaries are going to be struggling, and even the Menheriath soldiers there too. But I don't know what we've got in terms of fire arrows. Catapult's falling on back, which, yeah, its usefulness here is kind of spent once they come out of that valley. Elvellan infantry moving in to replace the fallen dwarves. I suspect they're going to get the catapult up there next to those Rhudaur marksmen and try to get some shots into this front line. Vinegard coming forward now too. So yeah, those dwarves are going to be getting some backup. But while those halberdiers... Oh, those halberdiers are almost gone. Only 22 of them left. So they have been taking some good casualties. Guardians of Carndum there with their morale buff. They'll be able to hold well. Katunka's coming in for a quick push. But those Guardians are going to have none of that right now. Vinegard, they can use Shield Wall, which is amazing. So you can do some good pushing with them. As we can see here, they are actually shoving these guys back. But they still only have a massive 1. So they're not dedicated pushing units by any stretch. And when you have to push aside a unit like the Guardian of Cardolan, they're not really going to budge. A lot of more arrow fire coming in here, and as I say, the Cardolan men Cardolan men, and in these cases women too, are just taking these shots like champs. But how much longer can they keep it up for? What do we still have in reserve? Some of these mercenaries that have run away and Menheriath forces that have fallen back, they're both exhausted right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what Beast Mode does. Does he try and get their energy back? Wow, you are just absolutely coated. Oh, yeah, no, they're getting sent straight back on in, which is fair enough. Because as I say, I think right now the attackers are just wanting to use up the enemy ammunition and wear them down. And then later on, the more exceptional units will move on in. I'm kind of concerned about the amount of archers that Bacon Soup has brought, but hopefully it turns out okay in the end. The good thing about Imladris archers is, of course, you can throw them into melee after this, and they can do some good work. March Wardens coming on forward now, 43 of them left. So the good thing is, since they're such a small unit, you can muck about with them quite nicely. Whoa, these poor marksmen have taken a beating, but they'll have used up a lot of ammunition, suffering that much damage, as I say, because of their heavy armor, sorry, not ammo. What's that? Oh, 8 more troll hunters coming in. Where are they going for? Just pouring, oh, into the March Wardens. Okay. I don't know if I'd be going into the March Wardens there with my 8 more troll hunters. But saying that, Mac has got a lot of jabs on the field today, so I don't necessarily blame him. And as we stated before, of course, the poor Dunman pikes, they're so much less resilient to ammunition, like even to like the March Wardens. They're going to be dropping really fast just because they are not wearing any armor and they don't have any shield. Dude, you better have some Herenidine pikes, Mac. I didn't actually spot any. Oh my god, Mac, if you don't have any Herenidine pikes, I'm going to be really upset. I don't think he does. Why not? Why? This is insane to me, friend. No, I don't think he did. I don't think he brought some Herenidine pikes. Interesting. Interesting indeed. They would have been like, I mean, definitely for a siege, but like, for any sort of battle, Herenidine pikes for me, like I sometimes take 2 of them when I'm in a siege. I'm happy to jump into the red limit to grab that second unit. But he really has, he's gone a lot harder into his javelins. Of course, he's gone a lot harder into his javelins than I do. I often say that, like, I don't play Rhudaur the way that most people do. I don't really play them for their javelins. I play them for their sort of high morale and their high melee attack. So for me, my pikes are much more important, but he can maybe get rid of his pikes, and in exchange for that, just make sure he's got that unit of fraudulent javelins, make sure he's got some more axe throwers and such that I wouldn't have. But yeah, Ordo Malleus's armor upgraded Witch Realm pikemen, they're going to be taking a beating for their Wildmen servants, and that's very nice of them, very kind, moving on forward like that. But still, not a huge amount of gains being made here, but it's not really about making gains in the early game of an attack. You kind of, as long as you're trading effectively for kills, which the attackers are still doing that. They may have been losing their advantage a bit, but not by a tremendous deal. Saying that though, this attack is fading. Some fresh Menheriath men at arms are coming forward now though, as more arrows, are plaguing the back lines of the defenders. These crossbows, definitely want to get them minced if you can. They will do a lot of damage, but I doubt you'd be able to kill all of them, so it always feels like a bit of a waste to use your arrows against enemy archers. But yeah, and at the end of the day, the defender's going to be throwing them into melee sometimes, so if a handful of them are dead, why not? Still, some of these sentries are remaining. 6 left. Great morale on those guys, and when you've got a great unit of pikes, a great pikeman like that, even when he's by himself, he's still going to be able to do a fair bit of damage, especially if you've got some, this sword woman here just pressing this Barrow White back so that he can continue to stab away. Good, they brought him down. But up against an Uruk-hai pike line like that, they are going to be struggling. What have we got pushing up now? More arrow fire coming into the heavily armoured mercenary guildsmen, and the Minheriath spears just shrugging off that damage. Minheriath archers opening up, firing up and over, right into, yeah, as I say, yeah, these crossbows dying could be very useful. Of course, if you can reach all the way back here into these pikes, that'd be great too. But I think that is a little bit out of your range. Rhudaur marksmen there, nice and fresh. 1, 2, 3. They're definitely not this unit that has suffered massive casualties. So they will be able to do some good work. Sagath stalkers. He's saving. I often do this recently. Like my fodder units, I've not actually been throwing them into the fight until sort of toward the end, which is quite cool. We'll see how effective they can be, especially if they end up going toe to toe with some of the elite forces of these attacking armies. Glade Masters appearing. That is a power move, especially if they come in with the Hammer Guard. If the Glade Masters come in alongside the Hammer Guard right here, this could be it over for this front line. Do we have any... got crossbows that would rattle into them? And the Trolls, of course. Yeah, Trolls on the defense. I do often like Trolls on the defense because they're such a good just panic. Like, oh my gosh, things are going bad. Send in the Trolls. You just do this sudden explosion of damage, and then you get the Trolls out. You know, that explosion of damage just allows you to reorganize. It stops the enemy in its tracks, just totally breaks the momentum. You can reorganize and sort yourself out. It's kind of like using units like the Black Card of Buhr on defense. Because when stuff starts to go bad, you just get them in shield wall and you just shunt into the enemy formation, you just scatter it. And or you just line up and they can't really move through you. So we saw how much damage the warriors of Khazad did. Now we've got the 3rd Legion Infantry coming forward, who are going to be doing that, but a lot better. And we don't really have much AP on the front line now. 8 more Troll Hunters. Do you guys still have ammunition? I don't think they do. So their javelins aren't really going to be used. Urukai Archers out of ammunition there. A nice fresh unit of Rhudaur Marksmen coming on forward just to look for a target. And see, I love the Rhudaur Marksmen. They're not amazing, but they're fun for me to use. Just a half-decent arch unit. Glad Rhudaur has them. Coming on back here, still some Barrow Wights remaining, but the Barrow Wights are actually in the back lines now. A few of them are forward. Gosh, very bloodied Swords of Rivendell there. Axes coming in, but okay, this changes things. And we're going to see how well this morale holds. Yet mass break along the lines. Those Minheriath archers are luckily right in the right place to get thrown on in to replace the damage there, but that was just the first volley, or no, I think it has gotten some volleys off, but that was still, that thing's got the vast majority of its ammunition remaining. And because of where it's standing, it's not really something you can deal with. So these men will return, I believe. Oh my gosh, that's risky. It's too close for comfort, I think, because right now it's got one good hit. Everything else has been a miss, and most of those misses have actually landed here, behind friendly lines. So, Spearman broken there. As I say, when I play Cardolan, you know, I rely so much on my morale buffers. And when you use them well, suddenly Cardolan can become one of the strongest morale factions, because you've got access, as I say, to so many different morale buffing effects. But, it's interesting that Beast Mode has not been relying on them. If I was him, I'd... Hearthguard of Amansul? No, you couldn't tuck them in there. Because they've got a 100-meter morale buffing effect. I would maybe get them in spread formation here. Maybe. Oh, seeing that, the Gwathi Arthan, this is a big power move here. As long as they don't receive a catapult shot. Where golden crossbows have opened fire on them, but they do have that beautiful shield. So as long as they take that fire from the front, and as the trolls. Oh, we missed the trolls getting thrown on in. Just trying, as we say, break momentum off the attacking forces. Allow the defenders some time to reorganize, and I think it is going to do just that. Yeah, the 3rd Legion Infantry have been smashed open. A lot of firepower coming in here from the Urukai crossbows into these Hammer Guard. Yeah, damn. The Hammer Guard taking that beating. I know they have a shield, but that's still not fun. Down to 40. I don't know where the Glade Masters are. Merquindi Glade Masters are right here, actually. So they're still all right. Chopping down the last of those trolls. These trolls are, of course, nothing like the super trolls of Mordor and Isengard, but they're damn good. And if used well, they can be quite effective. A lot of fire, yeah, everything's targeting the Gwathi Arthand, but as I mentioned, like, I definitely do talk up armor piercing an awful lot, and I think, oh, that's just Uruk-hai archer fire. Okay, they're going to be shrugging that off like rain. But yeah, I do often talk a lot of guff about armor piercing, but at the end of the day, it is only taking away half of that armor value. So when you have a unit like the Gwathi Arthand that has this immense armor value, even when you're shooting at them with an armor piercing attack, they're still benefiting from half of that armor. You know, they're still very well armored. They're still pretty tough to get through. So, no, and of course when this archer fire like this, I know how tempting it is to shoot them. I don't know. I probably would too. Yeah. I don't know what else you could shoot right now, really. These Menheria spears coming forward, they're still warmed up, so it shows you how sort of quickly they ended up breaking. These crossbows out of ammunition, that's an amazing thing to see for the attackers. It always, you know, you never really want the enemy, you know, it never feels good when the enemy reinforces the front line, but when you see the enemy reinforcing the front line with archers, you know that, like, yes, this is nice. And it's just some meat to cut through, really. Unless they've received some significant upgrades, or have gotten some major killing done and their experience has gone up. But still, this right side, these 3rd Legion infantry are just mowing through, just hacking and slashing their way through the Gardens of Carn-dûm, and they're gaining some good ground for it. We're at 40 for 36, jeebers sake, and we're not even halfway through this. I think we're going to get, you know, this is not going to be like the previous few burst Sagaths we've seen, where these front lines have held for ages. I think we're going to see a break at some point. And we're Troll Hunters moving on forward. Rhudaur Swordsmen still holding back. I know they've got that shield value, but you don't want to get them shot at. Yeah, I've been impressed by Cardolan's morale, in all honesty. Like, you know, they're holding nicely. Ooh, damn. A little bit of friendly fire there, boys. Hopefully that's not coming from crossbows. Hearthguard, good. Right, yeah. Now, see, so this is where I would have sort of had the Hearthguard for a while. I'm surprised that they're racking up so much friendly fire, boys. Come on. Watch your fire, watch your fire. But still. Good, nice little unit. It's probably one of my favourite units in the game, to be honest. I love the aesthetic of them. I find they're... You know, I love the aesthetic of them. I love that they're spears and melee. And I love just that they're, you know, their actual effect on the battlefield. I love that they're all old men as well. You know, it's like just the grumpy old grandpas of the Cardolan army. Just keeping everybody in line. But anyway, the most heavily armoured heavily armoured Rhudaur unit moving on forward now to provide a bit of mass and reinforce that front line. Most defensively skilled as well. Really just sort of the one of the real units that has been more professionally taught how to fight. Sons of the Fallen thrown on in now. These guys look like they're just there to cut through people, not really perform a charge. Witchers! Okay, we do have Witchers, and they are positioned very nicely. We need to get some fire into these guys. We do have some coming up, but it's... March Wardens are trying for it, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. He's trying to find a good spot. Yeah, he's got a lot of ground to try, though. And I think he's gonna get a good shot here. I'm actually saying that. It's pretty thin. Oh, yeah. No, just go to the Sons of the Fallen. Even if you're only really killing like 20 Sons of the Fallen, they're such a powerful unit that I think it's worth it. What are we going out for? Oh, or not. Okay, okay. Fair, fair, fair. What's the next one doing? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's never fun to see. Were those some Glade Masters dying? Yeah, that was some Merquendi Glade Masters biting them. Actually, 48 of them. But still, Merquendi Bows bit the bullet there, and the General of Dorwinion's fallen. Dorwinion's got some decent morale, so that's not going to be the end of the world for them, but it's not fun. And the Witchers are escaping. So that's definitely nowhere near their full amount of ammunition. Ammunition spent. But, okay. Okay, yeah, decent. If I was Dorwinion, I wouldn't be crying there. I'd be a little bit upset. But that could have gone worse. I think everybody is very aware that could have gone a hell of a lot worse. The Herenidane Rangers are opening up from up there. What we got going on here? Yeah, it's always nice to kind of position them here, and if you can hold the enemy right there, that's the prime position in my mind. What are we going for, actually? We might actually... Okay, yeah, mincing through the Hearthguard. The issue is the Hearthguard are shielded, they're very nicely armored, but yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I've got no complaints, really. I'm sure Beast Mode would be very upset to lose a few of those guys to those Rangers, because once they do start dropping under that Ranger fire, they are going to drop real fast, because their hit points are going to be getting expended. And that heavy armor can only hold out so long. But still, they are gaining some good ground here either way, and they're doing some good killing for it. And all that's really been lost so far is the Hearthguard, the Menheriath forces, these mercenaries, and a few of the bacon soup fodder units. You know, a lot of Imladris' real power is still remaining. These Nuritino warriors really could do with using up their ammunition before they go into melee, but if they have to get thrown right on in, then, you know, it's just what has to happen. Imladris Guardian, it's interesting that he's got armor upgrades for so many of his other units, but not for the Imladris Guardians. You know, I would have probably given the Imladris Guardians an armor upgrade before I would have given the Swords of Rivendell. Shield Guard coming forward. They might be doing some pushing. That looks like an organized charge up now, and I would say it's time. I would say it is definitely time to have a good shield wall push through, claim this area. And I think the defenders would let them do that. I think they'll fall back. I don't think they'll fight for it, because we've only got Orc Fellers up here. I've always loved this pike and shock, you know, mixture. It works quite well. You know, the pikes are just shunting them back, doing a little bit of damage. You know, chop, 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 and then the Orc Feller or the shock unit hacks them down. And it's it's nice. Just when they can fight side by side like that, but. The Sons of the Fallen are not going to let them do that too well at all. The Blackguard are here, actually. And there's still these Guardians of Cardolan. Interesting. March Wardens coming forward. So they could, if they wanted to, they could reinforce that side. But we need to make a decision, defenders. Are we falling back or are we fighting? Because you need to make the same decision on both sides. I've seen it happen a few times in siege battles where one side of a castle or a city is sort of wanting to be defended to the last man, and the other one, you know, starts falling back and suddenly, you know, backstab. So that's something that can really happen in Sagath, because if they decided to flee from here, they've got to run all the way to here before they're safe, and by that time, you know, the attackers are sprinting down from the other side. Oh yeah, cheaper sake, 49 for 50. Okay, cool. The attackers have started to climb ahead. But the attackers have been using their very good quality units. March again. Mac is really valuing the March Wardens quite heavily. I think heavier than I personally do. I think when they're taken down to these sorts of numbers, I tend to just ignore them. Like, they're going to constantly just mince their way through you, but I'd hold fire myself. I'd really want those Fraudulent Javelins going into something more armoured, but that's them out now. And their AP is going to be useful in the front lines. I think Mac maybe just wanted to get them stuck in there, get them cracking into some Dwarven skulls, which they'll be very good at that. And you know, my New Year's special video from way back in the day. Well, say way back in the day. I mean January 1st. Or actually, no, I put it out on Hogmanay. I didn't put it on first. So the Fraudulent Javelins were really what I was relying on, and you know, they kind of saved me when I needed to do some damage in melee to the dwarves. Gosh damn it, I really love the Hereditary Rangers. I just like their swords. Just everything about them. Yeah, they're aesthetically, I think they're probably one of my favorite units. But yeah, it's a tough choice. A lot of really good looking units in Reforged. We have these white streams coming out from the Godhelm. Usually whenever you see any sort of archer trail like that, you know that the arrows are going to do a lot of damage. Oh god, no, my boys! Oh no. Rip in peace, man. Oh, that's such a shame. Oh no, get up, come on. Oh, they're just getting absolutely eviscerated. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, that really upsets me. Get into melee, okay. Cut through like freaking dozens of these elves, please. But of course, they're locked morale, so they're going to fight to the last either way. So, good stuff. Slice through those bloody half-elf betraying bastards. I know Evelyn aren't half-elves, but, you know, they're basically degenerates like that. So, anyway, Angmar there. I was saying before Heredity Rangers mids. But yeah, Shield Guard. I'd be tempted to just grab... I'd be tempted to do a force path through here. I know they're just butchering them, but, like... I think just a quick shunt in there, they would be broken. Done with pikes, you know, of course, you know, they're going to try to hold out as best they can, but once you get like inside of the formation, they're gone. So what are the defenders doing now? I would advocate for retreat now. Either retreat to the second last level or all the way back. What are they at now? They're down pretty bad. If I was a defender, I'd probably advocate for a full-on retreat and hope that the attackers advanced in a silly manner so that I could use the champions of the White Hand. You know, that's what you often get. You know, oh, watch out for the catapult. Get the catapult out of there, boys. Oh, it's like we've got a oh god, the Gwaith Yarthander are going for it. We've got a retreat going on, but it just doesn't seem to be as well organised as it could be. Something's going to have to sacrifice themselves because these Gwaith Yarthander are going to power their way on to that catapult. And you can't really use the champions of the White Hand to stop them. If I was Mac, I'd probably... Yeah, okay. Oh, good on you, Mac. The Wildmen of Rhudaur are just having to do their part again. And hold back the storming High Elves in protection. Oh, I guess it is his own catapult. So, it was commanded by Orcs. So I thought it was Angmar for a moment, but no, it's not. Gotta watch out for these Coalfell Maidens. An archer might just march there and try and wipe them out. I'd be tempted to give them a quick archer volley, just see if I could kill off these last two javelin throwing units. But this is good. We've not actually seen a Buhr Sagath fall back to the final point in a really long while now. Villain infantry and the Hammer Guard there. The Hammer Guard have been brutally beaten. And they can do shield wall. That's kind of fun. Yeah, I guess, so Katunka was trying to shunt his way through. So even though, oh wow, yeah, that, you know, the attackers have really been climbing ahead now, but that's just because they've been massacring everything that was holding out the final defensive point, which you do often see that. But, as I say, the attackers are quite a bit ahead right now, but they've used up so many of their elites doing so. And Angmar got out those Blackguard. We still have the Trolls of the White Hand. We've got the Nazhai. The Guards, you know, we know how I feel about the Guards War Thank, but they'll do something. You know, we've still got a bit of fodder. That's good. But generally, so much that the defenders have left is very good quality. And it's going to be interesting to see how the attackers deal with that. Champions of the White Hand need to be used, though. Don't know what on. Yeah, these Rhudaur swordsmen. That sucks for them, the poor boys, but they need to... What are the Lurch Hunting Pack doing? Get them out. The wild men are just screaming at Lurch Hunting Pack to get the hell away, just, you know, while they fall here, but... yeah, the Wardens, these guys are not going to be getting a great kill-death ratio, but, like, something's got to stand in the way, and they have been chosen for it. So good for them. Oh, Rhudaur Marksman trying to get some good work done here. Quite a badly beaten unit. Not getting a terrible arc, but it's not great. Zooming on through here. Yep. See, this is kind of the issue. Well, this is kind of what I would be wanting to do. Anything that I got through, I'd be sprinting it on over to slam into the back line here. Now, oh, right. I guess they broke it quite nicely, to be honest. Oh! It's Mac very well disengaged there. Yeah, I guess he gave Fixa some time, but then he was just like, I gotta get out. So he's just bolting now. Those Rhudaur Marksmen surely won't make it. Oh, maybe. Champions of the White Hand actually might save him, but saying that, ooh, that charge is going to be broken by friendly units. And then, as I say, the Stalkers have an anti-cavalry bonus, but they cannot beat the Champions of the White Hand. And these Swords of Rivendell aren't spears. We don't have any other spears. Wardens of Tyr and Gorthad. I would get them out of phalanx and sprint. Just start trying to stab into the Champions of the White Hand. But saying that, once they get them enclosed, you know, once they push them up to here, I've seen people do, I've sort of done it, where you rattle your cav back and forth in this final area, but it doesn't work too well, and it can be quite difficult to achieve. So, you know, this is really Vix's last hurrah with his cavalry, but they are wanting to try and stop that. And the stalkers, of course, won't be too much use past this point as well. So, if Katunka can just use those, dear, the Inquisitors are still alive as well. It is a concern. Oh no, Katunka! Dear. Oh, that was unfortunate. I guess the slope there was just ever so slightly too steep to get off a charge. That was unfortunate for the poor champions. So everything needs to advance here quite carefully, because as I say, if you advance without spears, which Lothlorien kind of was, then you can get slammed. Oh, Woodland Protectors over here, but of course Woodland Protectors are spears and melee, and they're of course javelins at ranged. Very scary for heavy cavalry like this. And this is a great move from Katunka. Yeah, just trap those Inquisitors, maybe even get them broken. Oh, wow. Oh, no, once again, they managed to slip on out. But they'll be hurt from that. It looks like that is going to be them. They're going to just try and fall on back. Yeah, along with the champions of the White Hand, the defenders are going to have to really try their best to get something done from that. Swords of Rivendell coming on here. Looks like they were chasing after that cav, but now they've sort of just been slammed in front of these archers, which they will butcher their way through without much issue. The crossbowmen as well won't be too hard for them. Especially, yeah, as I say, they've had a little bit of an armor upgrade. Oh, I love that helmet. The cool little sort of leather helmet that guy's got is quite nice. I was saying, man, I don't really know what this material is. Some elven concoction, I'm sure. Herendane Berserkers there. They've got their little axes to throw. We've not seen them do that yet. And Gwaithiarthan, I don't know. Because they're not AP, those little axes. See what they go for. He might want to deal with the Stalkers. But, yeah, because the Stalkers could just come in and out and charge this fodder front line. Then the issue here is the Herendane Berserkers are very lightly armoured. And they've got a decent shield on them, so that shield is going to be coming into effect here. But if the attackers are just allowed to shoot the Berserkers, then that's not fun. Coming, yes, great stuff. Okay, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, awesome. This is a great target in my mind. Killing off those thieves. You know, the thieves only have an armor value of 4, and they can't parry those flying axes out of the way as much as that would be really cool. That is not something that medieval allows for. So they're going to be dying real quick from those. But those Herendane Berserkers are out of ammunition. They only really get a few volleys. They've minced about half a unit of thieves, and now they're falling on back to do the rest in melee later. So yeah, nope, fair. Announcer feels pretty confident for the attackers. We'll see how it goes. As I say, I'm worried about the elite units that the defenders still have. That was a lot of damage done to the Wardens there. Wardens will be able to sort of form up. Heavy armor value on them. They lack a shield like their sort of Herenidane Pike counterpart, but they will be able to keep a lot of that damage back just from their armor alone. The Uruk-hai crossbowmen, though, will hurt them from all that damage, and that catapult as well is a unit that the defenders still have. And I don't think we've got any attacking artillery. No ballista that can position itself here to go and mince that catapult. That's always quite a good idea if the defenders are able to get back to this final point. Hearthguard there still have a good bit of their ammunition left, and they'll be able to use their ammunition a lot more effectively here. And they ain't too bad with those archers. Well, too bad with those arrows, of course. Thieves of Tharbad. I really love the Thieves of Tharbad. Sorry. But I only take them to sieges. I don't really take them to field battles, just because everything that goes into my Cardolan field battle army needs to be there. You know, I absolutely have to have that. Whereas the thieves are like a luxury. That it's like I would very much love to have a unit of thieves, but I just cannot afford it. Then I guess I could get rid of my I've kind of gone off Lance Cavalry. It's not that I think it's bad, it's just my micro ability is gone now. And I like to spend so much more of my time focusing so much on how I'm positioning my infantry and how I'm flanking around in an infantry situation, that I just don't have the same time during a battle to control my lancers. And, you know, I end up 850 florins just gone. So maybe I should consider just getting rid of the lancers and in exchange, don't know what I could get. But as I say, maybe a thieves. Hearthguard there, looks like they're out of ammunition. They spent a good bit more ammo than I thought. Oh yeah, I love like the little fur collar and the capes. It's just cool. It's just such a cool unit. And they're charging on in here now. The mercenary guildsmen, they were very, yeah, I know their morale buff could have helped keep these guys in the fight a little bit longer, but they were very badly damaged at this time. We got some fresh boys. We got some fresh Herenidane Rangers here from Knack. Very good. Okay. He's, you know, I'm still sad that we don't have those Herenidane pikes, Mac, but this is something. But yeah, those Hearthguard of Amon Sul, as I say, as much as I love them, they're not going to win you too many awards in melee. Ooh, but backed up by the Avellan Hammerguard, sorry, and the Wardens of Tir and Gorthad. Those Wardens of Tir and Gorthad, again, this is Cardolan. It's got so many morale buffers. You know, even the Wardens, as I say, they buff morale, but you know, you need to use them, and if you don't, then your boys are going to be bolting. A lot of fire coming in here. I'd say this is really, you get to a point as a defender where you no longer really have the luxury of picking your targets with your ammunition. You need to just unload on anything that is ahead of you, because you need to make sure that you're getting all of that ammunition used before the enemy actually pierces through your front line. So yeah, this is kind of the point saying that though. The crossbowmen are holding. I know it would seem like a waste, but I'd probably unload a shot into the thieves. Yeah, just because they are going to be quite effective in melee, and also I've not seen them throw their knives yet. Continuing to shoot. Yeah, I know there was discussions a while ago about they kind of want the Thieves of Tharbad to use like a smoke bomb and like yeet a smoke bomb at the enemy, which would have been really, really cool, but I just don't think that was something that we could do at this time, that is. So these knives are coming in and just tearing through the crossbowmen, and I see that's why he wasn't just doing it, because those crossbows were basically out of ammunition. So that's going to be more sort of armoured fodder for the front line. Definitely not too skilled, but armoured. But yeah, he's just, I'd probably get those berserkers thrown around there now, just because we need some decent boys up there, and because there's too many enemy elite units and there's no friendly elites up there to counter it. Which kind of surprises me, because, as I say, we do have elites to spare. There's so much at the back. I know it's trying to stay out of the range of archers. Definitely these Black Wolves need to do that. Blackwatch Legion are there. They're not going to budge. They're good AP. Trolls of the White Hand too. Pikes there. Oh, that's why we weren't reinforcing it too much, because the Witchers were needed. And the Witchers are going to get away. Oh, boys, come on. I don't know if the Witchers should have been able to escape from that. I think they were all targeting the Herenidane Rangers. But, okay, they're firing into the Witchers now, but... Nah, man. That was a good shot, though. Okay, that changed the game. That definitely changed the game. The Hearthguard are still there. Good morale on them. The Wardens, Tir and Gorthard are down to 3. A lot of their number were burned away, as were so many of these elves. The Avellan Vineguard... bolting out of there now. Dunedain Rangers, just, yeah, once again, kind of just, you're not really able to be too picky for a target now. Dunedain Captains taking a bit of fire, but coming on forward now. Very good Swordmaster unit. You know, at the end of the day, I love them for their morale buffing effect, of course, but even then, just throwing them into the fight is important. Scourge Raiders popping up now to throw off their axes. Don't get many of those axes, but yeah, armor upgrade for these guys, of course. God, you're very unpleasant, aren't you? But yeah, you know, useful in the fight after, of course. Axes coming into the thieves. Once again, yeah, these poor thieves are just, you know, been taking a beating. But they're locked morale, so that's awesome, you know. But still, it's a shame, because they're so useful in melee. But I just worry that, you know, the attackers still have all of these Nuratino warriors. These were, like, full on ammunition at the start. Merquindi bows, they're full too. It is kind of the, you know, Cardolan and the Dwarves are just going forward now, along with, of course, a lot of the Dorwinion survivors, to just focus on the front line while the Elves and you know, everybody just unloads ammunition on whatever they can find, and that is why the defenders have fallen back to here. But the defenders are not going to be able to do that forever. Once this front line does break, you know, it's gonna be basically an even Stevens fight, but they're just gonna constantly feed it and make sure that it doesn't break. How are these berserkers doing up here? This is a good mix, the berserkers, with their sort of high damage and sort of a bit of fanaticism, mixed in with the disciplined Urukai. Should be able to do some good work. Still a warden. No, there's still 3 wardens the Tyrion Gorthad left. None of them have died since we last saw them. We're probably going to witness one of them die here. But yep, Dunedain captains. 2 of them sort of slammed right into the front. The Rangers are forward now. We have a lot of Dunedain smashing up against the eastern Dunedain descendants, the Herenedain. Oh dear. Yeah, that's too bad. A lot of this fire is going into the Rhudaur swordsmen, but they've just ducked behind that hill. Yeah, got to be watchful of your ammunition. Good stuff there. As I say, every miss, especially when you've got 3 catapults all missing, you know, it stings the defenders at this point, and of course it's going to make the attackers very happy, because that's you know, even just one good ball of fire is all it's going to take to really turn the tables here. Blackwold's come up now, and they've managed to advance still with their full number. I know they're 2 hit points, so some of them might have died once, but it's good that they've managed to arrive all together. And axes coming into these guys, into their left side though, so those... oh, that was a very organised axe volley there from the Trollshaws. But yeah, so as I say, their left side, their shields are going to be coming into effect there, but of course the thieves don't really have a shield, and those poor Hearthguard are very badly injured. What are we at now? Oh, right, okay, the attackers do have a bit of a lead here. But say these... ooh... do we still have any... yeah, that's just the Godhelim. I don't think we've got any Rangers remaining to just mince this unit. The Inquisitors, Hammerguard... this is going to be a bit of a grind, I think, because we've still got a lot of frames to go. The Woodland Protectors are up there now. They're falling back from that fire, but of course they're going to receive axes in the back either way. I don't know if I would have left them there or not, because they're not... the defenders don't have an endless amount of axes to spend at you. And I feel having a unit like the Woodland Protectors up there, at least they've got a shield. Just, maybe that's worthwhile. But I'm very sacrificial. Like, I will use my units in a very destructive manner sometimes, which I know a lot of people are always much more conservative and careful with their units, whereas, yeah, as I say, I just kind of yeet them all in. If they need to be in there, they're in. And if somebody's got to take a beating, then it's alright. The pikes there set up now, reinforcing this front line. The thieves are just slicing through the Rangers and the Blackwolds there. Those massive stone axes are, of course, a great source of AP, but the thieves don't really care about that. They're beyond the need of armor. But no, they're sort of assassin nature. So I really do like the Blackwolds. I don't really use them too much when I play Rhudaur, in all honesty. Just I struggle to make proper use out of a unit like that. Elder Emwy Swordmasters, as bloodied as they are basically an elite unit with their stats, I feel. So they're going to come on forward and do some good work. What do we still... yeah, the Trolls of the White Hand, they'll kill a lot in melee. Naz High, of course, they're going to be tough to beat. The Guards of Orthanc are coming on up now. They're going to be able to shunt off a lot of this damage. I'd still have them running forward myself. But still, they'll hold the line for a really long time, and they'll do some good killing. Because there's not... Dunedain captains are down to 17. The general is going to be falling soon. But we don't really have too many more Cardolan forces, so it's not going to be as much of an issue if the general dies. Let's zoom on out, see if we've got anything hiding around. Imladris Guardians, Gwaithiarthan still remaining. A lot of oh, the Dwarven Elite Swarm is untouched. Still some axes there. And more axemen. All the way back here, we've still got some Lothlorien boys. I don't know, man. Kindred and Watchers. I think it's time for Lothlorien to take some damage. We'll see. He's doing fine overall, I'd say, but he's got a lot of men left. Falling on back there, and there is no more reinforcements marching up this way. Elven infantry running on back, and that is that. Yeah, Imladris Guardians coming on up forward now, and the Buhr and River Wards. Yes, good. Their sword masters should be quite effective here. Looks like there's a bit of a push here by Nova, but that push is going to be met by the Hammer Guard. And now that you don't want to have too many units heading up here at once, but this is a very sort of close position that you can hide units. So now that those Hammer Guard have moved out, they might try to slot something in there. Good stuff. The Sagath Stalkers are coming forward. They up against. Oh wow, good little push there, Katunka. So that needs to get blocked up, and I think the Lurch Hunting Pack are going to try and just tear through it. But the Snaga, yeah, Order Malleus has seen this. He's positioning his men properly before charging on in. But you don't want to lose that ground there. All it's going to take is these marksmen to break. They're already shaken, and they're going to get a few little stabs in the back from those Snaga. The Cardolan general there. He's part of the Dundane captains, but you don't really... Oh yeah, you're seeing some Dundane captains around him. He's going to have very little trouble just sort of stabbing and hacking his way through these Snaga stalkers. But yeah, more axes. Okay. Oh wow. Oh, that third shot was horrendous. Yeah, Elven marksman broken there. The Snaga coming in to secure that side. The one man sort of standing in their way there is the captain. Actually, sorry, and this dwarven banner carrier with also one of the captain. I should say. But yeah, that was a good close there, and a very brutal artillery strike. Hearthguard broken. They should hopefully return with 11 remaining. So yeah, that general is going to be racking up quite a kill count against these poor goblins. Another good catapult shot there, breaking some more of the Dorwinion forces. But the Buhr and River Wards storming on in to reinforce that line. Yeah, they were trying to support with Inquisitors, but yeah, I'd hold back. I think the Inquisitors and the Champions of the White Hand are the last line of defense, and you're just hoping that the enemy uses up all of their anti-cavalry potential by that point. Saying that, the Buhr and River Wards have an anti-cavalry bonus, so maybe having a few of them lost here is a pretty good idea. Ooh. Okay, that was pretty bad. It looked really bad, but in all honesty, it didn't kill a massive amount. Whereas back here, yeah, that was a bit unpleasant. The poor marksman. Godhillim out of ammunition now, so they will head on in, and when they do, they will tear people apart. But Bacon Soup, that is one of the strongest units that the attackers have left, and I'm sure Bacon Soup doesn't want to get him sort of shot by the catapult. Those gatekeepers there with their halberds are going to be able to tear through these poor champions of the White Hand. But as I say, I would keep them back right now. I know how tempting it is, and the stalkers have come in and try and answer to this as well, and push around the side. Okay, cool. Oh god, those poor champions. But yeah, they've fallen out now, and okay, no, they're just wanting to go toe to toe with these stalkers who are slipping by them. This is not fun because it's never good to have units behind your lines. It really it does get quite intimidating for the infantry there. Mac in the wind, reinforcing with some Rhudaur axemen. Ooh, yeah, okay, yeah. So the champions are going to be, and alongside the Inquisitors, they'll be able to deal with the stalkers. That'll be them broken. It'll be down to these Rhudaur axemen to block up that left side and make sure that does not happen again. It's always quite cool to see the defending line be thicker than the attacking line, but when you have good forces on the attack against evil defenders, that's often what you get. It's often what you need to have. So it makes a fair bit of sense. Still some champions remaining. The Blackguard's still around. Waithy Arthan coming on in now. And yeah, okay, cool. They've been fighting for a while now though, so they're not going to be as healthy as we may imagine. We do still have Witchers lurking somewhere, and as I say, that catapult is still functioning. But apart from that, saying this about Rhudaur though, Rhudaur could have half a dozen hidden javelin throwing units still remaining here and there. I like this one Snagga Stalker just sort of behind the lines here, just cheering the boys on. Some of them are over there now too. They've really spread about. Damn. Dunedain captain there, cracked open by a hammer guard. Dunedain captains being sword masters, they of course are going to be able to defend themselves quite nicely, but they do rely on that armor value quite a bit, so the AP is going to be hurting. Guards of Warthank doing a good job there. Okay, I talk a lot of guff about them. I don't know. I never really take them, but I don't play as Isengard too much, in all honesty. So these heavy axes. Oh, the hammer. Oh no, that's sort of the captain of the Avellan infantry, who has broken there, along with the rest of that unit. Hammer hit. So they. Oh, this is good stuff. The Rhudaur axemen sort of floating around the back there. This could end up being a bit of a break. It's getting tough to spot what's happening because of all the corpses and all the blood, but Rhudaur axemen really just sort of slamming themselves into there. Nuratino warriors coming on up now. Woodland protectors with their ammunition still. So they were going to be able to use that effectively. Watchers of the Golden Wood. Now the thing is with the Watchers of the Golden Wood and the well yeah, the Watchers really are what you want for that. They've got that sort of pinpoint accuracy. So this really is a case of if the Witchers poke out their disgusting little heads, those Watchers are going to be able to land some pinpoint strikes. As we see, up and over, doesn't matter, they're going to land their shots. I'd be tempted to come into the Lurch hunting pack, but it depends on how much ammunition I had. I probably wouldn't just come straight into these main lines. Yeah, no friendly fire from these guys. Very rare to see that. I'd even be tempted to come in straight the catapulture, but you'd probably end up a lot of your shots hitting the actual catapults themselves. Yeah, looking around. No, I don't know where the Witchers are, if they are still around. That looks like a dwarf who's fallen. Wait, oh no, that's our general has been slain upon the battlefield. Yeah, I think that was Cardolan's general. It was around here, so it makes sense if it was Cardolan. I think he just ended up laying down atop a fallen dwarf. That's what confused me. Nuratino warriors doing their best. Good counter to the Rhudaur axemen, of course. But those Hurricane pikes still not doing too bad. The hammer guard pushing through bit by bit. The woodland protectors, what are you looking at? Yeah, firing straight into these lines. As I say, once the attacking lines start to get quite thin, you can use your javelins quite a bit more effectively. And there's this gap here, so these poor hammer guard are just taking it. Oh, little flag bearer for the shield guards, get out of the way. You got elven javelins coming all over you. Oh, okay, he's dead. But his... Oh, good stuff. Oh, right. Glade Master's coming in to counter him. Okay, not bad.
Our army's running from the field. Only half
oh dear.
The enemy force remains.
That is... our army is running from the field, so that is the last of Cardolan. Yep, well, our army is tiring, of course, because they've all started running. Yep, so these gatekeepers were the last Cardolan unit standing, and they are bolting now. So that is dandy, interesting. So yeah, his general lasted almost to the very end. And those gatekeepers lasted until there were about 8 men left in the unit. So that's not bad for them. Pretty good showing, I would say. Mithril Guard coming on forward now. And this is the real issue, because to counter the Mithril Guard and the guards of Khazad on that side, and the Gwathi Arthander in the centre, this is a real uber elite attack now. You know, we need... Oh, okay. Right, so there's two ways they can do this. They can either start unloading fire onto the front line, or they can use their own elites. And I think they've gone for the first option of just trying to use their catapult. You know, to hell with friendly fire. We don't really have anything too important here. And I'd never really liked to do it, but I'd maybe get the Nazhai and the Berserkers and the Blackwatch Legion. Or maybe just a few of those units and just hide them in here next to the Enslavers. Okay, yeah, you can't pack this place up too much, but just getting them in here. I've had a few little sieges that come down to just charging in and out of that little area. Hopefully they don't fight inside of this this area that's hidden from view. That would be kind of unfortunate, but I think it might come down to that. It's looking like it right now. Oh, rotting meat now. Right. Now the good thing is, well, rotting meat will kill if it hits directly, which we saw there. You don't often see it actually hit a unit directly. But when you do have these like 2 hit point units, it can be quite useful. The issue I often find about it though, and the reason that I will usually tell people not to use rotting meat, is because everyone is of course affected by it. And usually it's, say, an evil army that is using the rotting meat, and if you are using the rotting meat as an evil army, your units will probably have less morale than theirs will. So you're basically just destroying your own morale. And so yeah, I will normally just, if I see people using rotting meat, especially if it's, oh, the catapult's done now. But yeah, if I see people using rotting meat, especially if it's around my men, well, I'll only do it if it's around my men. I'm not going to tell them how to, you know, do their own assault. But if they're firing rotting meat around my boys, I'll usually ask them not to, because it's just going to scare my boys off the field and not really do enough to the enemy morale. But throwing, you know, freaking elite elven warrior killed by, you know, rotting cow that is just sort of slammed him in the face is a pretty rough way to go. But yeah, the Trolls of White Hand here, answering to the Mithril Guard. The AP from the Mithril Guard though will get through their nice armor, and they're not going to really get a great kill count, but that is really just because of the quality of units. Even the Imladris Guardians, it's weird that the Imladris Guardians are currently the lowest quality attacking unit in the melee. That is quite a strange position to be in. The guards of Khazad are not going to go down easy either, especially from the sort of lower damage guards of Orthanc. Guards of Orthanc will hold them back for a while. They'll be able to do that, but they're not going to be able to kill too many of them. And the Godlim are coming on forward now, content that there is no longer a catapult to smash them on down. And yeah, just sort of storming forward. And yeah, I think it is just the Kindred are here now too. Because I didn't see the Witchers die, is the thing. That's just what scares me. I don't know where the Witchers are. Okay, yeah, we have all fallen back in here. So that's why I would just want to keep the Watchers of the Golden Wood and the Kindred alive. The Pikes are thinking about falling back. Yeah, shoot them in the back. Because if the Pikes get back and they form up inside, that could be an issue. So Trolls of the White Hand. Yeah, see, every one of these strikes is going to be doing a mass amount of damage to these guys. Oh, Rhudaur Swordsman there, the captain of the Rhudaur Swordsman fallen. Guards of Orthanc broken, down to 2. They might make it out of this alive. If they can sneak by this unit, they did. I think they're going to make it. Unless this unit of Legion Bodyguard really goes out of their way to target them, I think they'll make it off the field today. Lucky boys. No. No, I think they're going to run right into them. Or one of them is. Oh, he just... Oh! He doesn't care. Good man. Good man. Okay, just get out of here. Yeah, I think he's going to make it. Good stuff. Anyway, so... the Berserkers were fed to the Swarm in order to allow everybody else to escape inside. Yeah, the Woodland Protector Javelins, certainly not a bad idea to use them. You're not going to be able to fire them inside there, really. Not too easily, anyway. So just get them smashing these Berserkers down. Of course, the Berserkers want to crack into a heavily armoured Dwarf or a human of some sort, but yeah, no. Going up against the Imladris Guardians makes it a bit trickier, even though the Imladris Guardians, of course, do have a decent amount of armour. The Rangers there still have ammo. Of course, being taken down to such a small unit size so early in the battle by the charging from the Inquisitors, is going to be hurting them. Oh, what ended up killing the Coldfell Maidens? I can't remember. Yeah, couldn't say where the Coldfell Maidens ended up falling. Maybe over here somewhere? Nope, that's a Cavalier. Yeah, here they are. Damn, poor girls. Yeah, it was all 4 of them together. Looks like they were probably caught by the Stalkers. Yep. Oh well. They tried to defend some of their Rhudaur swordsmen by the looks of things. Oh, missed that. Watch the Golden Wood still around, but out of ammunition by the looks of things, with their swords out. Kindred firing up and inside. Ooh. Oh wow, that's really cool. That's a nice effect. Just sort of smashing against that building. Normally, this is pretty damn good, but it's just such a well-sheltered area that this is going to be tricky for them to do this. They're just overshooting because they can't come down the way they want to there. Okay. Let's go up to 2 times speed because I think this will take a while. I don't blame the attackers for not just wanting to throw themselves in here, because at the end of the day, there's a pipeline of, Uruk-hai pikemen, backed up by the Blackwatch Legion, so you know you're not going to be able to push through that. The Blackwatch Legion, with their 10 mass, they're not going anywhere. The Enslavers are standing by with some Rhudaur swordsmen? What the hell? Oh, I guess I didn't know that Witchram Enslavers had like a Rhudaur swordsman in their force there. That's kind of funny. Everybody else all the other units are led by an Enslaver, but the Enslavers are led by a Rhudaur swordsman. Nice. The Naz-hai 2 and the Blackwatch Legion, but it looks like the Woodland Protectors are the first in there, and they're going to want to get their javelins off. And I think they're going to. Oh, boys, come on, don't let that happen. Countercharge. Yeah, okay. No, they're just going to let that happen. Yeah, you've got to. But yeah, the Mithril Guard are in there now. But no, those woodland protectors did very well to get a few javelins off in their face. Kindred, the Kindred are capable of some amazing things, but this is just not something they can do. I don't think they're going to be able to get their ammunition used. Maybe over here. Maybe if you got them positioned. No, maybe here. You could shoot up and over into the backs, but still, I don't think it would. Either way, Legion bodyguard coming forward, Mithril Guard. I think that, the attackers definitely have this, but it's going to be bloody as the Blackwatch Legion start to shunt them back out. And oh god, yeah, as I say, I think that, as I mentioned before, I think the Blackwatch Legion are going to push them into here, and we're not going to be able to actually see the fight. It's down to sort of the dwarves by the looks of things. Lothlorien trying to use up their ammunition. Of course, Cardolan off the field. Dorwinion. I didn't hear that Dorwinion had been wiped out, but I'm not seeing any Dorwinion forces, so I think they might be gone too. Yeah, looks like it. Lorenand Warriors, Watch of the Golden Wood. We've got some more like mid-tier units, or high mid-tier, they're elves at the end of the day, to come on in if they have to, but if not, it's just down to the dwarves. Blackwatch Legion, of course, AP with their maces and just shunting these guys around. Okay, we'll place ourselves here, I think. Oh, so that was Angmar's general by the looks of things. So we'll place ourselves in 2 times speed, because I think that this will take a while, and I think a lot of the fight needs to be happening inside there. We'll have a look. 85. So, and it will definitely get worse than that as the battle goes on. So it was pretty damn close. Did anybody do anything wrong? I don't necessarily think so. I think everybody did everything quite well. As I say, I kind of disagreed with some Max Javelin throws, but I don't think that would have changed anything. And as I say, I understand why he took those. I understand why he, viewed those units of archers as so dangerous. Yeah, so all the fighting is happening inside here right now, so we can't really see it. But yeah, because it's, I love Rhudaur so much, but I couldn't use Rhudaur on the defense. I don't think I could. Anyway, just because so much of being on the defense is just being able to say, all right, yeah, shoot me. And Rhudaur just don't have the ability to do that. You need to, the only thing they've got is armor upgraded Rhudaur clansmen, I guess, because they've got a decent shield on them, and you give them your armor upgrade, they're okay, but still, that's an armor of like what? Oh god, like 5? Is it? Maybe even 4. I can't remember what their standard armor is. But yeah, not explorers. Sorry, the troll hunters maybe get them to defend the line, but you just can't do that. It's not effective. So yeah, you really need to be paired up. What I would have maybe. I think it was maybe an army comp thing, and I think what I would have maybe done if I was Rhudaur, is I would have chatted to the boys and said, like, look, you're both much beefier frontline armies than me. If I go, whoa, okay, we'll stay at 2 times speed because we've got a while to go. This is kind of cool. So he's coming with his mainline units and just flooded on in, but the problem is there's not enough killing power here because the dwarves have pulled back. Huh. I guess they're coming in now. If I was the dwarves, I would have stayed in there. I know you would have died, but like I would have probably just stayed on in that fight. But yeah, because these poor elves by themselves are not going to be enough, even with those heavy axes. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe they will. Yeah, I think they might. Because yeah, I think they'll do not too bad. Anyway, I would have maybe said, hey guys, look, if you guys are content holding the front line, like I loved how they all mixed up, but I would have said maybe, right, are you okay holding the right side? And you hold the left side, and I will be javelin archer support, maybe even bring some cav or something like that, and I will mix about both of your sides, because Rhudaur just can't. It can hold a front line, but it can only hold a front line if you know you're not going to get shot at. And if you're talking about holding a front line from a melee charge, most certainly they can, but I don't know. I don't think Mac, did anything wrong with that, and it was good that he did sort of try to hold the front lines. And I think he was able to do quite a good job, but he just had to expend so much of his ammunition to keep his pikemen safe. And yeah, this is why, like, I do have a disagreement about not bringing the Hereditary pikes. I think that's something that should have been done. But once again, that's not gonna. Well, what are we down to here? 80, almost 90. Yeah, I think by the end of this they'll get down to 90 for sure. I don't think that would have won it. As I say, I don't think a 5v3 is very tough, like on the defenders. It is a very difficult thing to accomplish, and these three defenders, they definitely knew what they were doing. I've not seen Vix's. Vix. I've seen Kuzuko. Yeah, I've seen that. I'm pretty sure I've seen him before. And he's definitely playing like somebody who knows what he's doing. So I think everybody I have spotted, and they did well. They clearly do know what they're doing. Good use of the catapult. Overall, they did end up definitely getting those Witchers shot down. I don't think those Witchers used up all their ammunition. I'm just trying to think who they could have won. Maybe, for me, I would have said, now this is just more money, but like, I would have maybe not taken the Coldfell Maidens on the defence. I love the Coldfell Maidens. I take them to pitch battles and I take them to siege attacks. But I don't think they're worthwhile to take to a siege defence. I think for a siege defence, I would personally prefer to take the Hereditary Nobles, or maybe, if you feel confident, even the Dunman Outriders. I think that's what they're called, Dunman Outriders right now. It used to be Dunman Scouts. So yeah, he admitted defeat there. He could have killed a few more, I think. But yeah, especially with that AP general, because he's part of the Enslavers. I think you're better off doing some lancing, and then of course, because you have the champions, the White Hand, who they can do some good charging. I think that was kind of part of it. The defenders spent a lot of money on the Sally forces. They had the Inquisitors, they had the champions, the White Hand, and they had the Coldfell Maidens, which all in all, that's a good bit of money they spent on all that. And I just don't think this is more to do with the attacker's skill rather than the defender's mistakes. I really think that the attackers really handled that initial movements and the initial attacks so well that they just disabled the defender's ability to use their cavalry well. So that's part of it. Also, the main thing is, I would say, well, not the main thing, one of the big things is defending with evil factions is always tricky. But attacking with good factions can be difficult as well. So yeah, all in all, Dunedin Captain's got some decent kills. Hearthguard of Amon Sul did not too bad considering how much damage they took. I would have really wanted them to do more damage with their arrows, but yeah, that was a shame. Their accuracy is not as good as I thought their accuracy was, which is it's unfortunate. But yeah, Gatekeepers there, not bad, especially for no armor upgrade. Men at Arms overall, they were just mincing through bloody barrow whites and then a pike line, so I don't blame them, and I think their morale did very well. These guys, 55 of them came back, so they must have been shot to pieces. Good for them. Interesting to see there's really not much difference between the men at arms and the spearmen in this case in the amount of kills they got. Double thieves. Yeah, it was unfortunate. The thieves were just shot to pieces. You know, like, yeah, like somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to take that beating. And you definitely would have wanted somebody else to go there, but I think, you know, beast mode was really just getting stuck in, just going for it, and I don't blame him for that. It's tough. Once you get the momentum, you feel like you need to keep it up, but sometimes you just need to stop. So, but yeah, those poor thieves just got shot up. Dunedin Rangers could have maybe gotten more kills, but I think that when you're attacking on Buhr Sagath, it can definitely be quite tricky to get your Rangers into a nice position. Buhr Sagath is a very well constructed city for sieges. I really quite enjoy it. That's why it just gets played so much and why it gets shown so much by all of us. Wardens of Tyr and Gorthan, wow, they didn't actually rack up as many kills as I thought they would have, because they were in the fight for so long. But that it was the catapult strike. They suffered so badly from the catapult strike, so yeah, I think they would have done more. I'm just making so many excuses because I love Cardolan so much. Mercenary Guildsmen, I don't use them myself. And especially a lot of those mercenary guildsmen were attacking, well, to be honest, they were attacking the Barrow-wights, which that was a good shout. But apart from that, like cracking into Rhudaur forces with your mace is like, what is armor, friend? As he wears this massive wolf pelt that just bounces off. Then the two Menheriath archers, yeah, great stuff. I don't take Menheriath archers to fields, but I think if I was taking them to a siege attack, that's a very good shout, because they can do everything I want from my archers in a siege. You know, they just take arrows so well, so well. And they had 2 units of civilians, whoops daisies. 15 kills, not bad. You know, they're 150 coins at the end of the day, you know, so you can't expect too much from them. They've just provided a bit of mass to the front line, a bit of numbers to keep everybody together and keep the morale up. As a whole, good morale overall from those civvies, so yeah, let's say it is what it is. I don't like to take civvies, but for lore reasons, it just, yeah, it never really feels too right for me, but I like it. You know, when you're on a siege attack, it's kind of like they're camp followers, you know, they're just coming around, it's just like, yeah, we need to just soften them up, just send in the camp followers, it has to be done, you know, memes aside. Then, Dorwinion. Yeah, I think Katinka did pretty well. Nice early use of the Hammer Guard. I always like seeing people use elites early. Good use of the Stalkers throughout. Being the only person on a 5-man attack team that brings cavalry is always so much, like there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, and I think Katunka did incredibly well with that responsibility. Chased away the Coalfell Maidens very well, you know, fantastically done by that, and then just, you know, trusted, like, threw his stalkers into fights that were very risky for them, but because there were allied infantry around, and this was a good thing for everybody else too, always, like, when Katunka's stalkers were jumped into a fight against Inquisitors and the champions of the White Hand, clearly matchups that they're not going to win, everybody else responded by, like, okay, got to get my spears in there, got to support them, and there was that they almost managed to catch those Inquisitors right early on. That would have been amazing, but it was well done, and that just goes again to show, like, how well I think the attackers handled the cavalry as a whole, and why you know, the defenders' cavalry just wasn't able to be as effective. Nova there, yeah, getting stuck in exactly how he should, using the stubborn dwarven infantry just to wear down the enemy forces. It's never fun to just grind up against Barrow-wights. It's always very frustrating, but you know, he did it, and he did it very well. And of course those little, what is a Witch Realm pikeman to a sturdy dwarf of Khazad at the end of the day. So good stuff, and a lot of prisoners, nice. James there, yeah, definitely sort of bringing up the end of the fight. You know, Lothlorien, you really are relying on Lothlorien to do a lot of the archer damage, and I think James did very well with that, you know, and especially up against Rhudaur, as we saw, Rhudaur was targeting him all the time with his javelins, with his axes, just to stop him from shooting. And maybe only slight thing would have been to get the Watchers up a bit earlier, just for anti-Witcher duty. You know, if you can get the Watchers just sat somewhere, they do not fire, they watch for Witchers. The moment they see a Witcher, bang, you know, but, you know, he did that toward the end, and I'm pretty sure that was probably what killed the Witchers, but, you know, it would have been nice to have jumped them up a little bit earlier. And then Bacon Soup, yeah, I was a bit, because, yeah, Bacon's, look, he got, you know, 1,300 men, is massive. He almost had more. He had the same amount of units as Dorwinion. You know, that's a massive army for Imladris, and I was a bit concerned about it, but he handled it very well, and I think it went good. Yeah, it was cool stuff. I say I always take the Gwathi Meridain, so I'm always upset when I don't see them on the field, but yeah, it is what it is. Mac in the Wind, yeah, talked about what I felt about the javelins. I think the Coalful Maidens, I'd love to know why. Like, well, we've seen that happen. We've seen the Coalful Maidens do some good work on a siege defense, just like getting some good javelins into pike units and so on. But for me, I wouldn't ever do it just because of how easily the poor Coalful Maidens get shot to pieces by archers. You know, the nobles can pack on a bit of armor. You can give them an armor upgrade if you want, you know, and they can just shrug off a lot of arrows in order to lance stuff down then. But you know, you're spending a lot more money on that, and it's the same kind of deal with a siege attack. It's like, oh damn, well I couldn't use them outside the fort, I'll bring them inside and I'll just get some javelin volleys down. And he did a good job with that, but I don't think he was able to use up anywhere near their full amount of javs, just because there were so few left of them. Isengard there, yeah, Isengard of the siege is solid. Maybe there was a ban on the ballista, the Isengard ballista. I don't think that would have saved them. And I think the catapult was used well, so, you know, it's fair. But apart from that, yeah, no complaints. I think everything he did was quite well, apart from, you know, again, maybe the use of the Champions of the White Hand could have been, you know, a bit more aggressive. But the attackers were just so careful. They didn't really give him a good opportunity. So, yeah, I don't blame him for that. And then Oro Malleus, yeah, good stuff overall. Nice splitting up the barrow wights as always. You know, that's what you're sort of meant to do. Support every side with your barrow wights, and great use of the Witchers. I felt I didn't massively agree with the targets. I would have maybe used the Witchers earlier at sometimes, but I don't take Witchers myself, so I can't really complain. And the same with the Inquisitors. I guess Inquisitors can get off a beautiful charge though, so I can see why he took the Inquisitors. But overall, no, good stuff. All right, so that was a pretty damn long one. But yeah, okay. Thanks for powering through, guys.